All right, I'm gonna try not to get anybody else in this video behind me because I'm in the parking lot right now, and I was thinking about beliefs and limiting beliefs. You know, I am a therapist, I'm also a coach. I like both of those approaches, and I find that with coaching and with therapy, there need to be some ground rule understandings between your coach and your therapist. So when I'm looking for a coach or a therapist to work with, I want someone that is coming from this place that there are all possibilities, that any belief holding me back from my greatest potential is just a limiting belief, no matter how strongly I actually believe it. If it's holding me back in some way, then it's a limiting belief. And that's a really big element of my own approach. I don't get a chance to dive into that as much with therapy clients as I do with coaching clients. I'm playing around with looking at how to introduce that more with my therapy clients. And, you know, it's very much based on what their goals are. And then I'm there to help support them. And you know, eventually we're going to hit an area where they're stuck, where there's distress, and that's held in place because of a limiting belief, you know. And what I find is that it's like this limiting belief has its own, like if this is the limiting belief, it has its own blood supply. The more it feels real, the more it feels like impossible, the more it feels painful, that's an indicator of how much is feeding it, or how long it's been around, or how deeply rooted it is, how much energy is supporting it, how much life force is going to it to keep it alive. I mean, it's like a cancer of sorts, and it's just vital that we start from a place of realizing that any sort of distress, any sort of limitation can be uprooted, can be dissolved. And, you know, I use a lot of different tools to help distance ourselves from those beliefs, how to dissolve those beliefs, how to forever change that so it doesn't trigger my clients any longer. But I just want part of my community to be based in this ground rule and this rootedness, that if there's any distress in your life, any sort of belief that you find causes you pain, that's a limiting belief that can be changed. I'm really curious if you also believe this. You know, how prevalent is this, is what I think I'm also wondering. Is this common knowledge? Is this, I just thought this was kind of common knowledge, honestly. Except for, and I thought, well, maybe it's just the people group I'm working with, or maybe it's just this area. You know, I was a military spouse for almost 22 years, really. And I've lived in a lot of different areas and locations. I didn't work professionally. I was a stay-at-home mom at that time. But I think I just thought everybody realized they didn't have to be held back by their limiting beliefs. Let me know if you also resonate with any belief that's holding you back in some ways, a limiting belief, and that there is a way to dissolve it and get past it and for it to no longer have control over you. Or if you do believe that there are limitations for your own life. I am so curious if this is common knowledge or something new that you're discovering and leaning into. So I wish you guys all the best and take care.